Welcome in or welcome back to U-Tree Tarot. Today we're going to be taking a look at the person on your mind. So we'll try and have a delve into their feelings, their thoughts, your feelings about them potentially, the state of the connection, maybe try and get some extra advice and look at the likely potential outcome. So we will be using the Wild Unknown. We'll lay down some base energies, their feelings, your feelings, state of the connection, any extra advice or information, and then the potential outcome. So I'll just give the cards a shuffle. This is timeless. Whenever you find it, you're meant to find it. If you're here, I think you're meant to be. That's the way I look at it. The universe puts you in the right place at the right time to find the right information. Okay. So, their feelings, we've got the Three of Pentacles. Your feelings, we've got the Six of Pentacles. And the state of a connection, or what's happening in the connection, we have the Page of Swords. Any extra advice from the universe, we have the Six of Swords. And for the final potential outcome, we have the Page of Pentacles in reverse. Okay, so we will clarify these with Rider-Waite. So their feelings, the Three of Pentacles, seems like they do want to build. Three of Pentacles is a card about building, collaboration, maybe starting with a new foundation, starting on a solid foundation. Can you tell us, please, the person on the collective's mind, more about their feelings and why the Three of Pentacles is here? We've got the Queen of Swords and the Page of Pentacles. So the Page of Pentacles takes us down to the final outcome, but this Page of Pentacles is the right way up. So the Queen of Swords is kind of wanting to maybe break through with some truths. Can be a bit harsh, but I think probably the Page of Pentacles here, they're feeling that they need to kind of get a bit more honest and possibly kind of offer that honesty into the relationship for it to be able to start again. Possibly there was something in the past that they didn't fully embrace the truth. Possibly there was something in the past that they didn't fully share with you or kept to themselves a bit, but they're kind of feeling like they need to open up and offer you this truth or this piece of information, possibly. Okay, so what are your feelings for them? So we've got the Six of Pentacles. That tends to be a card of sharing and kind of wanting to find some equilibrium. Clarified by the Six of Wands, so another six. Six of Wands tends to be about celebration or public acclaim, possibly. Kind of getting home after a long battle. So I think you've probably put quite a lot of effort into this relationship, trying to share and be open. And you're hoping to bring it home with the Six of Wands. But also here we have the Five of Pentacles. So I think you're probably feeling a bit left out in the cold. You're probably feeling like you've made more effort. You've been more open. You've been kind of trying to bring things into balance more. But you're not always kind of getting what you need from the person on your mind. Okay, so the state of the relationship, got the Page of Swords, tends to be someone who is keen to sort of set out, bring this sort of truth, maybe that's kind of the sort of truth here which the page is sitting on. Possibly does need to be brought into the relationship, or that's what would help the relationship move forward. So let's clarify why the Page of Swords is here. For the state of the connection. So we've got the Empress and Page of Cups. So I think there is a lot. The connection seems fairly healthy. The Empress is fairly stable, kind of grounded, loving. It's all the good stuff. And the Page of Cups on top of the Page of Swords, clarifying the Page of Swords, we talk about just needing to take the relationship to move that extra step forward, and actually sort of from being sitting on top of that sort of truth to bringing it and offering it. So the Page of Cups there is bringing a fish in a cup. So hopefully you like fish. But I think state relationship is generally good, but there is something about truth. There needs to be a bit more truth for it to flourish. Okay, and then we've got an extra message or information. So we've got the Six of Swords there. So Six of Swords tends to be about things are going to be moving on to calmer waters, leaving choppiness behind. Let's clarify why the Six of Swords is here. Actually, that Six of Swords is in reverse. So if it was upright, it would be about potentially leaving choppy waters behind, moving on to smoother, calmer phase. But it's in reverse, so it looks like there might be a bit more choppiness ahead. But let's see. Oh, we've got the Star and the Eight of Wands. So the Star is about wish fulfillment, about dreams coming true. The Eight of Wands tends to be about forward, passionate movement, possibly messages. So I think maybe the truths that need to be brought into the relationship will cause a little bit of choppiness, but in the long run, they will lead to sort of happier times, more balanced times when they come in. Okay, and then we've got the Page of Pentacles in reverse as the final potential outcome. So the Page of Pentacles tends to be someone coming in with a gift, or it's the same energy as here was clarifying the Three of Pentacles. So, but this one is in reverse, so it might be that there's some kind of delay in this happening, I would imagine, possibly in the truths coming in might be delayed, so you might need to be a bit patient. Clarify the Page of Pentacles in reverse. Why is that here? The final potential outcome. Okay. So we have Seven of Wands and the Ace of Cups. So the Seven of Wands is a card of defense, a card of needing to stand up for yourself, maybe. But I think if you do stand up for yourself, you defend your boundaries, as it were, then I think that offer will come in, but you've got to make sure that you don't feel it's a one-sided relationship. There's got to be give and take. And I think the person on your mind probably needs to open up a bit more and maybe be a bit more forthcoming. Okay, let's get some, just at the bottom of the deck there was the Knight of Swords. So that tends to be an incoming message, incoming truth. So the Queen is possibly going to send a knight over with this information, and then it will work out that way. So we will get 3 more cards and a crossing card just to clarify. We'll use the Lights Here deck. Any more information, advice, messages? Okay, so we have Knight of Wands, the Ace of Pentacles, 4 of Wands, crossed by the 9 of Pentacles. So I think probably this is saying that there does have to be a bit of a movement. The Knight of Wands does need to kind of get on the horse and bring some passion forward, which will then, the Ace of Pentacles would be a new start. Might need to put some work into that to get it off the ground, to kind of push it forward. As it's saying here with the Eight of Wands, it will kind of take need a bit of a boost. But the 4 of Wands is celebration, stability. It's looking good. Sort of the relationship looks as though it will smooth out, but I think it's just possibly going to take a little bit of time. And the 9 of Pentacles is the Minor Arcana Empress. Looks quite happy there with her bird and her pentacles. But I think in this case what it's saying is that you've got to remain strong and not accept things that aren't equal, give and take, that you don't feel are equal. You know, it's it kind of takes 2 to tango. So you've both got to be putting in as much effort as the other one. Okay, at the bottom of the deck there we have the Strength card and the 2 of Swords wanted to show. So it will take some internal strength probably, but you've got the strength. You know, you're a lioness who looks after a little lamb in this card. So I think you can do it, but just don't get bamboozled. You know, don't get up in your head too much about it. You know what's right and what's wrong. Moving forward, you've just got to be clear about how you feel. Okay, well, I hope that was helpful. And if it was, please like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.